Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt Q&A Sundays. It's been almost a tradition. Well, it is a tradition, really, right? Because I know a lot of you guys out there get a lot of valuable information from my videos, from my lives, in secret. I know you can't really talk about it amongst other people because 97% of people are slaves, so they're never going to understand what you're saying. You know what? I'll shave it to 95. Make it a nice, even number. 95% of the people are in debt in the United States, right? Probably around the world, but I'm just keeping it to the United States because most of you guys will never leave the United States because what? Most of you are slaves. Yeah. Slaves don't get out the country too much. Anyway, as always, I'll give you guys about 2 or 3 minutes to get in here, and then we're going to get started. And I will tell you what the purpose of Q&A Sundays is for, and we'll go from there. Get started in about 2 minutes or so. Give people a chance to get the YouTube live alerts. If I get it across my phone, I'm sure other people are getting it as well. Hopefully you're at lunch. Hopefully you're in a place that you can just plug the earplugs in and just listen to me as you work. That'll be cool too. And if you're someone like that and you're actually listening, because I know a lot of you guys just listen, you guys will download my podcast and just listen. And sometimes I'll be talking and not really, when you can't see, it's really difficult to follow, right? You're like, oh shit, what are they talking about? So I'll try to stay aware of that. What's up, Aaron? What's going on? I don't know. Aaron, this is what's crazy, Aaron, okay? I've never gotten blocked from any YouTube channel I've ever gone to. I've never gotten blocked. Okay, this is just something to make you aware of. Ever. But you seem to be getting blocked all the time, and you keep coming back saying you're not doing anything. You think SMD family members are just blocking you just because they just don't like you or something? This is what you're insinuating. So I just gotta try to understand you, man. Anyway, we're gonna get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is LJ Young, the founder of SMD. And I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where slaves live. Now there's two kinds of slaves: unconscious slaves and conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves don't trust math, and they don't know they don't trust math. For example, they believe they're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage when they could just put those numbers in the calculator and clearly see that that's not true. All right. Uh, they finance a car for 84 months and believe they got it on sale and got a deal. Well, if they just put those numbers in the calculator, they would clearly see that nobody gets a finance car on sale anywhere in the world, let alone in the United States. Nobody. Okay. And then there's conscious slaves. Usually these conscious slaves have found the SMD channel because there is no other channel on YouTube like it. Guaranteed you that. Guaranteed. Okay. They have found the SMD channel, did what the name of the channel on their finances, added up all their savings, added up all their debt, put it in a calculator and said savings minus debt and hit equal. They found that they were in a deep, deep, deep negative, and they believed the calculator. They said the calculator would not lie to me, and they believed it. Now, the next step: how can I change that? Oh, I got to work and pay back all the people I owe that I borrowed money from. Yes. They did savings minus debt, and they believe, well, that's the price of your freedom. Yeah, that's how much it costs. If you want to be free, that's your cost. That's how much. And they believed it. Now they're doing whatever it takes. Work as many hours as it takes to get out of debt the fastest, sell everything you thought you owned. If you think you got a little bit of equity in a house that you know you don't own anymore, sell that bitch and pay off debt. Sell it. Because right now the market is, quote, hot. Well, that's an illusion too. That was me. I would live there for the first until the age of 40 years old. I was what you people in the debt matrix call a high valued man, college educated, good looking, nice body, six-figure earner, high paying career, bloggity blah bullshit. All that bullshit. You know what I did? I followed all the credit rules and what people thought a high valued man was. I did it all the way to wherever they said it was supposed to be. And I got there. And when I got there, I said, is this it? Something doesn't feel right. That's what I said to myself. I got there and I said, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right. But I still couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what didn't feel right because I had the nice car, job, house, whatever, the whole, whatever the debt matrix say that's supposed to be it. Until I woke up and realized I didn't own nothing. My six-figure salary, yeah, I was triple that in debt, triple. Had my student loans for 10 years. That's high value? No, I was a high valued slave. That's what I was. And I was clearly unconscious because I was double my salary in debt, double it. And I want to share with you guys, and I don't really share this part too much, but I want to share with you what woke me up out of the debt matrix, what glitched. The bank told me. The very people that I was supposed to despise and hate, everybody in the debt matrix says, hey, look at the big bad banks. They're doing it so bad. That was me. So one day I was going to get a loan, and this time they denied me. Now I had always paid my bills on time, had a good job, made a clearly good income, had a high credit score, all the rules that they tell you you're supposed to do. Until one day they said no. I said, what? I was like, because I'd never been denied before. I said, what do you mean no? And they go, your debt to income ratio is too high. And I was like, what is that? Because I had never heard of a debt to income ratio until that day. I mean, I kind of heard it in the background, but I didn't pay attention to what it means. So I went and read it and I'm like, oh, okay, this says this, if you're this deep in debt and you got this percentage in debt, all these stupid ass percentage numbers. Because when you're in debt, you don't understand percentages. That's why they use percentages, slaves, because if you don't even know how much debt you're in, you don't understand what percentages mean. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you for the definition. Who wrote that definition? The banks did. But then I took a step back. I said, whoa, wait a minute. This is what I said to myself. Wait a minute. By following all the credit rules that I've been told to follow, that is what got me in debt. By following those rules. I said, wait a minute. Something doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And as I'm typing debt to income ratio inside of Google, I came across Dave Ramsey. Now, I had never heard of Dave Ramsey until I was looking up debt to income ratio, but the word debt obviously tied to his name. Clicked on his videos. Oh, look at this older white man in Southern Tennessee and blah, blah, blah. What's he got to say to me? You know what he said to me? Hey, just use the math that you learned in elementary school. Yeah. And apply it to your finances. And here's the baby steps to do it. And then you'll be free. And I said, it can't be that easy. That's what I said to myself. I said, no, there is no way that it can be that easy. Because I didn't need any of his classes. I just heard that come out of his mouth. And I did it. Once I did it, once I freed myself, not then and only then, when I got to zero, I realized I was a slave. I realized I didn't own the time in my life. And if I didn't own the time in my life, I didn't own me. All this comes to realization. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. If I didn't own me and I have three other boys, because I got three boys, that means I don't own them. I can't own them if they don't own me. Exactly. You don't even own you, Linnell. You definitely don't own your boys either. And you're going to pass that knowledge right on to them unknowingly, of course. I didn't realize that shit until I was free. Now, when you guys come to this channel, don't think I'm talking to all of you slaves, because 95% of you are in debt and don't even know it. I'm talking to the ones that are wandering around the debt matrix like I was. Knowing that there's something wrong, but you just can't put your finger on it because there's nobody around you to even ask the question, because you don't even know how to ask the fucking question that you want to ask. but you know there's something wrong. You can't figure it out. Can't put your finger. It doesn't matter if you get a raise. It doesn't matter if you move to another state with better pay, lower taxes. You're just like, damn, I'm in the same situation. I know, because you don't own you. Once I owned myself, I realized that it was a gift and I possessed the gift. I own myself and I know it. Unconscious slaves, they don't know they're slaves. They have no idea that they're slaves. Now, this is the difference. Now, I was thinking about this so you guys can really understand my purpose. The difference between me and other motivational speakers, inspirational speakers, this is the difference between me and them. Now, take Tony Robbins. He's one of the biggest motivational speakers, I guess, right now, whatever, right? He is huge, but and that's clearly a gift. Like when you watch him and you see the things he has and he does, when you're in debt and you don't own yourself, you don't really understand it. But then you start focusing on his money and stuff like that, and then that throws off his message. When you start focusing on the things he have in the result of him finding his gift, the stuff you see he has and how he lives, that's a result of finding his gift and owning his time. Time is the most valuable thing on earth. It's time. So look at me as a person just like them, but I can prove it. They can say, "Hey, believe in yourself and do this, and just what they're really telling you when they're saying believe in yourself. What they're really saying is own yourself." Because once you own yourself, you'll understand everything they're saying, and you won't get distracted by the possessions they have that is in a result of their gift. This is what I do. I help you understand them better because they're not really missing a piece. They're just saying it to you wrong. They're saying believe in yourself, which translates into own the time in your life. How do you do that? You have to get out of debt. If you want to hear what the wealthy are saying when they're talking about compounding interest and all that other stuff, if you really want to hear what they're saying, you have to get out of debt. You have to own the first step. Number one, you must own yourself. That means own the time in your life. You must own that, because you'll never hear them. You'll never hear them. 95% of 95% of people in the United States are in debt. Whether they know this or not is 100% irrelevant to the laws of mathematics. Who cares? This is what SMD does. This is the difference between my gift and everybody else's inspirational gift that they show you. That's not saying that their gift is not real. I'm just telling you the difference between me and them. I can show you. I can prove my gift. I can say, hey, this is how you own yourself. Look at that negative number. Yeah, that means you're not, that means there are multiple businesses that own you. Log into your Credit Karma, right? You log in there. The only thing you're focused in, all 95% of slaves, when they log into their online credit report, is they're focused on the credit score. That's it. That's it. What they need to be focusing on is the large negative number that pops in their face. There's a reason why they don't put a negative in front of it, because you'll wake the fuck up. When you log in there and you see this big, gigantic number pop in your face on your online credit report, do they have a negative in front of it? No, they don't. Of course not. You'll catch on. But they're not. Listen, and I want you to understand something too. The wealthy are not hiding anything from you guys. Nothing. That's also a lie. I want you guys to clearly understand that that is a lie too. They're not hoarding any money. They're not hiding it from you. They're telling you right to your face that you're just not believing it, I guess. I don't know. Think about it. Millions of people are living the American dream. They put it right there in the first. In order to dream, you must be asleep, right? Anytime I dream, I'm asleep, right? They're telling you right to your face, if you do it this way, you must be dreaming. Now, you probably still don't get it, right? So now remember, my gift, I can show you. Okay, open up your calculator. I want you to put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. It says you're dreaming. See that large negative number? That says you are living the American dream. That's a dream. If you believe you're a homeowner, the calculator says you are dreaming. Do you understand? Do you guys know? I want you guys to really understand something about this gift that I have. I've always been what in the debt matrix, what they call alpha male. That just says, "Hey, confident dude that really don't give a shit what other people think." That is true. I've always been an alpha male. I didn't really understand it when I learned it had a name on it. I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's me," because what they're describing as an alpha male, that's me, right? Always been me. Now, there's a difference between let me explain this to you. There's a difference between an alpha male and a debt-free alpha male, which I am. Let me explain to you when you do what it takes to own yourself. And again, if you want to know how much it's going to cost for you to own yourself, log into your online credit report, log in there and look at that big number. That is your cost to own yourself. Until that number is paid back, you'll never own yourself ever. There's a big difference between a debt-free alpha male, which I am. Now, once you get out of the debt matrix, if you understand that 95% of people in the United States are in debt, those people don't own themselves. You would never, ever, ever, ever procreate, date, marry, probably won't even have sex. You won't even do it. With an unconscious person, you would never risk that, ever. You would never risk that. You would especially biologically tie yourself to an unconscious, a person that doesn't own themselves. That will have eliminated 95% of you ever getting divorced, getting bad relationships, and all that other stuff, because you will never, ever, ever, ever date anybody that doesn't own themselves, ever. Especially the ones that don't even know they don't own themselves. That will never happen, ever. And to live this life, you have to be cool with being by yourself. That's one number. But once you own yourself, you will be cool with being by yourself, because that you won't accept anything less. You'll never be with a person that doesn't own themselves. So if there's only 5% of us that are walking around, that's very slim pickings. But you're cool. Hey, I promise you, you will be cool with waiting. I promise you. Do you understand? This is a gift. This is the best way I can explain it to you. You have to believe in something that you cannot see. What it's there. I can prove that too. You have to believe in something that you can't feel, touch. You can't. No human senses. You can't say it's big and red and purple. You can't. It's there though. Now you're probably thinking, "Oh shit, he's talking about crazy stuff." Okay, this is what I do to disprove this. Just help people understand. I guarantee you, if you put 10 people in a room and ask each person, "Hey, have you ever felt somebody stare at you from behind?" Hey, have you ever felt somebody stare at you from behind? And ask all 10 people. All 10 people will say yes. Right there, I just proved something. Right, that's a proof. Right, all 10 out of 10. Now you ask each person, "How does that happen?" Do you know how that happened? Nope. You ask each 10 people, all 10 will say, "Mm-mm, nope." Just because they can't explain it, does it negate the first answer? No, it doesn't. And what it really means is that you just got to believe in yourself. That's it. You just have to believe in yourself. And the majority of you, why you don't believe in yourself? Because you don't own yourself. Shout out to Demetrius for the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Let me say what's up to everybody. What's up to Scout? What's up, Ken? We due for another session, my man. They love our sessions. What's up, Greek surgeon? Hi, Pastor LJ. What's up, Abdur? Just chill. Ah, LJ, how do I find a single mother that loves me so I can start a family and marry? The only thing I can say is that, again, if you're debt free, that's going to give you the answer right there, because you're never going to marry a woman that doesn't own herself or she's in debt. That's never going to happen. So you ain't gonna have no choice but to enjoy being with yourself for a very long time. I mean, let me say that. Let me not say that. It could happen at any time. I'm just telling you that you won't settle for anything less. I would never date a woman that's deep in student loan debt. I would never do that. That would be a total waste of time, total waste of time. And you can be honest with them too. You're like, hey, how come we can't get serious? You'll tell them, you're like, hey, you got $100,000 in student loan debt, and the way you sound like you're going to have it for the rest of your life. And no. She's going to say, what do you mean? You're going to say, you got car payments. Your student loans are older than your car payments. You're making student loan payments and car payments at the same time. That's called negative compounding interest. Why would I ever want to marry a single mother? My biggest fear as stepdad is that she biological father returns and he forgives me for being with his baby. This is what I want to, again, and I know maybe you guys will understand this, maybe you won't. It really doesn't matter, okay? And I promise you this, okay? Once you get out of the debt matrix, I want you to understand, when they talk about single mothers and single fathers, this single mothers do this, that they're just, when they tell you those things like that, they're telling you about, they can only be telling you from their perspective. This is what you guys fail to understand. Whoever's telling you that stuff, they can only tell you from their perspective. Okay, whatever they believe is just whatever they believe. If you believe what they believe, of course you're going to connect with that person. But just so you understand, they're just telling you from their perspective, and people like that perspective. All right. If once you get out of debt, you won't care that it's a single mother. You're like, is she in debt? Is she a single mother in debt? Yeah, it doesn't matter if she's a single mother. She's just in debt, and the child is just going to make it worse. You know how much compounded, and this is from experience, you know how much negative compound interest is created from being in debt and having a child while in debt. Because when you're in the debt matrix, this is what I always heard when I was a young father. Oh man, there's never no good time to have kids. You never can be totally prepared. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That is absolutely 100% not true. First, I had no business of having a kid when I didn't own myself first. No business doing that. None. Zero. How am I have a kid and I have no money? That makes absolutely no sense. CENTS. None. Zero. This is why when you get out of that debt matrix and you come on to the dating minus debt, you will understand that you don't have to worry about the divorce statistics. 50% they're divorced for money, blah blah blah. You know why is the number one reason for divorce is money? Because they're all slaves. That's why they're slaves, just marrying slaves. They're just marrying each other. You'll see, like the debt matrix, you'll see two doctors to get together and they're like, oh my God, they must have a lot of money. That don't mean shit. Do you know how much debt they are in? Usually those doctors and lawyers that you guys see on TV and you in your neighborhood, all you need to do is ask them how much student loan debt they have. That's what you really need to know. And then when they tell you, say, what year did you graduate? Oh, 20 years ago. That right there should tell you everything that you're seeing: their car, their house, the schools that their kids go to, the kind of clothes they're wearing, the vacations. You all know it's an illusion. It's a mathematical illusion. Has to be. If their student loans are older than everything you see is a mathematical illusion. Now, whether they know this or not is 100% irrelevant to the laws of mathematics. Irrelevant. I'm trying to spend less than I make so I don't dive into even more debt when I am by myself. It's easy, yeah, but how do you say no to my parents when they need money in it? That's a problem. Because if your parents are asking you, their child, for money, you pretty much know your parents are slaves. They have to be slaves. If you're asking your child for money, you know your parents are slaves. They have to be. So you're gonna, man, put it this way. This is what I would do. I would, which it will benefit you too. It sounds like you live at home. So if you live at home, I would start paying my parents rent. Now, it'll be less rent that you would pay if you were out in the real world, but at the same time, you'll be giving yourself practice, right? And you'll also at the same time be helping your parents out, and at the same time, you will be planning your exit strategy because you cannot live under those conditions. You cannot live with slaves. And and I want you guys to understand this too. I know it sounds harsh, but it's really not. Debt is the colorblind slave master. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care if it's your brother, sister, mommy, daddy, grandparents. It don't care. All it sees is green. My mom asked me, why don't I finance a car with it? See what I'm saying? That's slave talk. Now, when you hear your parents say that, they don't know. Now, listen, I want you guys to clearly understand something, okay? They don't know that they're saying that. They don't know that they're telling you to commit financial suicide by financing every listen, look like this. Every slave knows because they all say this. Now these are slave sayings. They don't know that they're saying these, right? They always say something like, "Hey, you know a car goes down in value as soon as you drive it off the lot." For who? You slave? If you know that slave, if you know a car goes down in value as soon as you drive it off the lot, what the fuck are you doing financing it? You think you could say that to a slave? They will get insulted. Why are you cussing at me? What do you mean? Well, I'm not. I'm trying to emphasize something. I'm emphasizing my statement, and a cuss word will get your attention. I don't use curse words for filler words. I use curse words on this channel so to emphasize something because curse words seem to get everybody's attention. F off, F you, fuck this, fuck that. It seems to get everybody's attention. Okay, I might as well take that same word but use it in a different way. You think I'm cussing at you, or you think I'm saying your math is totally wrong? Which one do you think I'm saying? With using that curse word? What do you think I'm saying? That math is totally fucked up, or I'm just cursing just to be cursing at you? Hopefully, it'll make you open up your calculator and say, "Oh, damn, he's showing the fuck was right," and you make yourself cuss. Oh, that's why he used the cuss word. Yes. Anytime you mention, okay, yeah, for sure. I only realized that what that really meant only years ago. Yeah. So Dennis, with the money I make, I had to laugh. What's up, Steven? Can you be high value simp in debt? Slaves can't be high value anything. If you're in debt, you're a slave. You're not a high value anything. So when you hear slaves attach names to people, like call them simps, and you'll hear put it this way, say like there's a high valued person, $100,000 in student loan debt, and they're talking about a person who they call a simp, and the other person, he has about $50,000 in student loan debt. Those are just two slaves talking about each other. It don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. They're both slaves. When they start calling each other names and you find out they're both in debt, who cares what slaves say and call each other? It doesn't mean anything. Nothing. Just shut up and pay the interest, slaves. You guys keep fighting amongst each other, talking, calling each other stupid ass names that don't mean nothing, don't mean anything. While they're making car payments. Makes absolutely no sense. Exactly. No. Now, you guys, here's a link, man. If you guys got any questions of me, hold up, I gotta turn this AC off. Hold on for a second. It's freezing. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Now, when you ever hear an inspirational speaker or a person, a successful person kind of describe when they say, hey, man, I picture where I'm at today. I pictured in my head where I was going to be. This is true. Okay. Again, in order for you to see this is what a lot of them are not telling you. You have to own yourself. Owning yourself helps you believe in yourself, because once you own yourself, you'll know time is the most valuable thing on earth. You'll know it. Because right now it's weird. You're going to die, right? Everybody dies. So by default, time is the most valuable thing on earth. And you giving up 40 hours a week, every single week, for some green pieces of paper. You have no idea what you're doing. Nothing. Zero. It's time. Oh, hold up. Just a second. What's up, Robert?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Yes, I got a question for you. I was binge watching your videos yesterday, and one of your videos that struck me out the most was you was talking about how the clock owns people. It was, and my question was, how did you learn so much about that? Because for me, working for years, it never dawned on me that that time owned a person. For example, how you were saying how people be looking at the clock, saying, I gotta, take a break at 5 o'clock, and stuff like that. So I was just always wanting to know, how did you learn about this? Because it seems so simple, but yeah, it took me years to finally understand it until you broke it down the way you did.
And that's a very good question, Robert. That's a very good question. Now, I didn't realize that until I got out of debt, until I owned myself. Okay. Because what I did when I got out of debt and still worked one more year. Okay. Which was very important on my journey. I didn't realize how important that piece was. Right. So I got out of debt. Let's say, like, I got out of debt totally in 2015, and then I worked until 2016. Okay.
What? Okay.
Okay. And during that year, I realized, because I didn't have to be there anymore, right? So it's different. So I started realizing how much time I was giving away, working off the clock, working after hours. And then I started looking at, and I noticed myself start looking, say like I got off at 5 o'clock, right? I
Right.
started noticing myself look at it around 3 o'clock. And then I started saying to myself, obviously I want to leave because I'm looking at the clock. I'm ready to go now, right? But I
Right.
couldn't. And then I started saying to myself, how come I can't? Then I started realizing, because I sold my time to this job. That's why I can't. So
And
it owns me. That clock owns me. Who owns the clock? The business. Because I'm looking at the clock inside their business.
because the reason I was bringing this up, because for going through my situation, I had got injured on the job.
Hmm.
And when you go through workman's comp and you go through like all this other stuff, it's like they trying to hurry up and get you back to work. And the whole year that I was starting my new job, I always wondered that why is it that I was always getting, these, snide remarks from co-workers. Like when you injure, it's like they look at you differently. It's like they get offended. It's like you messed up their bonuses or something of that nature. But that's when I started watching your videos about it. Then that's when it hit me. It was like, oh, these people mad because it's like, when you're in debt, it's like you get mad at someone who's not in debt. That's when I was thinking. If
You know,
I'm
this is
explaining.
this is what that is. This is what that is, right? When you talk about feelings, that's where because people tie their feelings to their job, and when their job is a business. Now, you think about it business wise. Say like you own that business, right? And
Right,
you got somebody working for you that is hurt. That means they're going to produce less, but you still have to pay them the same amount, but they're going to produce less because they're hurt,
right.
right? It's business. And as soon as people start taking it personally, when they start taking it personally, they start getting mad at the job. If it's business, you do what you need to do. Get a lawyer. I'm not saying just lay down or anything. I'm just saying you have to treat it as a business. People have to stop taking it personally. Because once you own the time in your life,
Right.
you won't
I'm
let a
just
business
noticing that
take
for
your time.
years.
Huh? Go ahead,
No, no,
Robert.
you're right. I agree all the way. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think there's just a delay. Go ahead.
Hello?
I'm gonna be quiet.
Oh no, no, but no, I was agreeing with you because the fact that it was just that what I was going through, and I realized that I would see people, like I said before a while back, how people would look at you differently when you out of debt and when you working, and it's like when you injure or something, it's like everybody else look at you like you're a strange person, or when you yeah when you whip, but that's when I
Are you telling people that you're out of debt? How do they know you're not in debt? I mean, are you telling them?
no, not at all. Like for example, I would go to work sometimes. This is before I got hurt,
Hmm.
and I work at a warehouse. People would come up to me. They was like, "You look like you don't belong here." Like,
Mm.
like yeah, I was like, it's like I had that happen
No,
before.
it is true. That part, okay, I see what you're saying. That part is true, okay? Because what you're doing, you're giving off an energy that they don't know, right? They
Right.
know you're different because I know because that happened the last year of my job. They just knew something was different about me. They're like, "Hey, LJ, man, you're just different." What it is that you're not stressed, you're not tripping on hours, you're not, you're just not doing any of those things that they do on a daily basis. That's what they're saying.
I understand now. I just thought it was like I was like where probably me looking like a weirdo or something. I was like, wait a minute, it can't be that because I act normal at work. I don't,
Right.
get into people's person.
It's energy. It's energy. You're not stressed. You're not tripping on stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're you gotta remember they're stressed daily. Bills, pay, when they're gonna get a raise, when the student loan debt is gonna be forgiven or not. I got to pay credit cards, mortgages. They got all this shit, and you don't have any of that. And they're like, okay, what's up with this dude? But they can't put their finger on it because it's nothing that you can see.
Got you. It, it's just amazing that it took me this long to figure that out. It,
You know what? And you'll get over that part too, because I went through that too. I was like, oh man, if I known this in my 20s, I could have been biggity blah 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 blah. I'm just happy that I understand now. I'm totally happy. I
yeah,
own
no,
me. I own me. You own you.
yep. It's like you said, it's an amazing superpower once you
Yes.
like get out of it. It's just unbelievable. Ever since
Yes. Millions. Think about it this way. Think about it this way, Robert. What you feeling right now, millions don't even know exist. Millions don't even know. That's how you should look at this when you think about this. That's why they think you don't belong here because you don't. You don't belong there. You sure? I'm not one of you. That's what it means.
wow, because it was like, but because mostly the people who was like saying that towards me was mostly women, and it's like I had like 5 different women on the job tell me that exact same thing. They was like, it seems like you too good for this job. It's like you don't belong here. It's like you have a different presence when you're here. And I
You
had
know what?
it,
Women. You know what's so crazy? You say that women are more emotional too, so they probably pick up on the energy better than men. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
yes, I
they're
do.
connected. Like, okay, this dude's calm. He doesn't act like they don't know that you don't act like other men in debt. Because it don't matter what you look like, what kind of car you. I mean, it does matter what you look like physically. I'm not gonna say that, but what I'm saying, but the energy is going to be different. That's why women can probably pick it up more.
Yes, indeed. But it was just mind blowing when it happened to me. Like the first year that I started at my the job that I'm at now, it was just like I would get those type of compliments, I would get those
Hmm.
type of comments, and just that I could never figure out as to why until I had actually started binge watching your videos, like your older videos, and I was
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, now I see why it makes sense.
Right. You see
And I was
how
like,
now? Do you see how it's in what we're doing right now is invisible to them? Now you understand when I'm saying it's invisible to them, right?
yes,
Okay, that itself is a superpower.
yes, it is.
We can say I can talk to you about this in the open right now. They have no idea what I'm telling you or talking to you about. That right
No,
there is a trip. That's a trip.
yes, yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing now that, once I finally got out of debt, once I was able to take care of a bunch of stuff, like in my personal life, that I realized that, man, this is what it feels like to be free.
Mm-hmm. Now I think about it, I think about it like this sometimes. Now growing up, I've always had, women have always been attracted to me. I'm not saying I'm some big pimp player or nothing. I'm just saying it just happens, right?
Right.
But it has tenfold that since I own myself. Okay. Because now I recognize, and I'm like, in my mind, when I see a woman look at me a certain way, and to myself, I'll say to myself, I know why you're looking at me like that. Not just because I look a certain way, it's because I'm different than the majority of the majority of men out here. I'm free.
Yep.
I own myself. I don't care what he drives. I don't care what the kind of car. I don't care what kind of job they have. A dude, better looking dude, could have a higher paying job or fly car, but if he's making payments on it all, it don't mean nothing.
That's what I was saying. It's like and then on top of that, like they would ask me questions. They was like, "Do you have kids?" I was like, "I have one from my previous marriage." And they was like, "Wait a minute, you don't owe child support?" Like,
Oh
no,
God,
man, it happens. Like
man,
warehouses.
thank God. You know what? When I was in the debt matrix, thank God I never fell behind on my child support. I just knew not to do that. I just knew it. Something inside of me said, "Hey, El, just never fall behind on your child support, man." I never did. Thank God I didn't, man. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know dudes who fell behind on it, man. You can just like hear the stress in their voice. I'm like,
Mm. Because they don't realize that you can't bankrupt child support,
oh, you
right?
can't.
So imagine them having student loan debt, back child support debt, those are two debts that you cannot bankrupt.
Nope.
You're gonna be pretty much a slave for life right there. That alone.
Yep. That's when there's like when they picked up on that, and I was like, I just could never figure out why until like the way you explained it to me. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, it makes perfect sense now.
Oh, hey, check this out. Okay, check this out. Check this out. Here's the energy. I'm gonna give you an example of so you can feel the energy that they give each other every day. Okay, here's an example. I want you to imagine you having $200,000 in student loan debt and another $100,000 in back child support debt. Okay, imagine yourself feeling that. That's yours right now. How would you feel?
I feel depressed, like I wanted to commit suicide.
That's the energy that they're giving out every day right now. See how they're giving out that energy, right? You don't have that energy. They do, but they don't know they have that energy because they don't know they're slaves. That's the difference. That's why they think you're weird, or you'll get over that too. You won't care what slaves think. I want you to get to the point to where you won't care about the opinions of slaves. It won't even bother you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to that as well.
You'll get
I didn't
there.
work,
You'll get there.
but man,
Especially at
this is
work. Especially at work. I don't know how long you're gonna last at the job, but especially at work, they're gonna know you're different. I promise you. Before I left, they knew I was different. They knew that.
yeah, it's like I'm experiencing that very thing right now, man. It's crazy how they not only do they look at you weird, they look at you and like the men, they look at you like as though like who the f are you? Like you don't have no stress. What you mean that you can go home and just relax?
Here, let me give you an example too. I remember the last year I worked, right? We would have manager meetings, okay?
Right.
And I realized that once I was out of debt, there was questions that people were scared to ask the manager in the manager meetings, which were the purpose of the meetings, right? But they were scared of backlash for asking the wrong types of questions. So you know what people did? They used to give all the people in the meetings used to give me all of their questions, and I would ask the question because I didn't give a fuck. This is what we're here for. I said, hey man, you guys told us last week that you promised this and that, and you was going to buy this and better that. What happened to that? You guys ain't said nothing about it. They were shocked.
Damn.
But this is business. It's like I'm not asking anything wrong. This is their jobs.
Yeah, I
It,
noticed. I noticed that too. They try to manipulate, people that like in financial ruin too. They be trying to manipulate slaves a lot. They be like, if we ask this question, they might retaliate and get us fired, and that happened too. not with me, but it's like I was at work and I seen like this newspaper job, the company paper, and they was like, if any manager has try to retaliate against you, or whatever complaint that you had, like corporate no. And then that's when I
Mhm.
also knew right then and there. It's like, oh, okay, I see what's going on now.
Mhm.
And so I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, this is much deeper than I realized.
It's what you know what when you grow, it's gonna look at it this way. This is how it's gonna happen to you. It's always there, but it's blurry. Once it
Yeah,
starts connecting, it just comes into focus. That's it. Everything's there already, right? You'll figure out the wealthy are really not holding anybody back. They're not hoarding money. They're not doing people wrong. They're not doing any of that. They just believe in the laws of mathematics when it comes to money. Period. That's it.
yeah, I noticed that
Mhm.
they not doing nothing wrong to me. It's just that I allowed it to happen.
Exactly. Exactly. By what? Not trusting math. That's it.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
everything was my fault. All my debt was my fault.
yeah. That's how I didn't believe in the calculator, and once I started using the calculator, once I started figuring things out, that's when everything
Mhm.
started making sense. But yeah, I
Yep.
definitely wanted to touch one of
CNTS.
her.
CNTS.
Yeah, sense.
Uh-huh.
It didn't add up until I started like binge watching your videos, and now I feel a whole lot better by doing so. I was like,
Good, man.
there is a reason why you here, man. Man, you're a life changer for real,
It's my you know what it is? I'm telling you, it's my gift. This I have found my gift and I'm sharing it with you. That's exactly what it is.
and I am very grateful for it. That's why I became a member.
I appreciate you, man. Because I can hear it in your voice. This is a life changer, right?
Yes,
You
right,
know,
absolutely.
your confidence goes through the roof. I mean, nobody you understand now it's unlimited, right? You can do anything you want.
Yep. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. Not to take too much of your time.
No, man, this is what today is for. So I thank you for coming on and sharing. I don't want you to feel rushed that you have to get
Oh
off,
no,
okay?
no, not at all. I was talking to my stepdad.
Mhm,
Before my mom passed, he was with my mom, and he
mhm,
told me right after my divorce, he was like, I never forget it. He was like, man, you can do whatever it is that you want. You don't have to deal with her student loans. It's like he told me, I wish I was you.
mm,
He
mm,
said this to me like 4 months ago. He's like,
mhm,
I wish I was in your shoes. You have no
mm,
criminal record. He's
right.
like, you, because like he did like weapons trafficking like some years
Mm,
ago, and
mm,
he was in prison for like 12 years.
mm, mm, mm,
He was
mm.
like, if anything I can tell you, young man, you free.
Yeah,
I wish I was you. Don't do what I did.
right.
And
Because what he did the gun running for money. For what? Money.
yeah,
And if you're risking the time in your life for money, you have a big, big problem. That's a
yeah.
big problem.
He owed like I think he owed because he owed child support while he was in prison. So he had
Mm.
owed like $132,000 in back
Oh
child
my,
support because he
oh
had
my
like
God.
all these kids by different women before he got
Mm.
locked up.
Holy
And,
shit.
and
Mm.
when he was telling me all of this stuff that I didn't even know,
Uh-huh.
he was like, "Please don't be like me."
Mm. He
So I
probably,
had a
you know
lot of
what? You know what it is? He woke up, but he woke up to the disaster of what his ego had done before he woke up.
yeah,
That's a big red pill to swallow right there.
yes, very.
You wake up in the middle of what your ego caused. Oh my God, that would be horrible.
I just never forget it. He told me straight up, "Do not be like me. You're a free man. You ain't got no criminal record. You not in debt, and everything she owes, that's her. You didn't do anything wrong. Or you can do whatever it is that you want." He's like, "I just wish I was you." I was like, man, and here I am worrying about what other people think.
Exactly. What about now? Do you feel that way now? Do you is it easing up? Tell me what's the where you think you're at? Are you easing up caring what other people, especially slaves now, especially 90% of the people that's talking shit like that are slaves, right?
Right.
How are you easing up? Are you is it getting easier not caring about their opinions?
Oh yeah, it's getting not only much easier, it's getting to the point that I just outright tune it out. Like I just
Right.
developed the ability just not to even hear it.
Hmm.
Sometimes I just walk around with noise canceling headphones when I get near people.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't hear slaves until I need to hear them.
Yeah,
Right. When
like
you get into business, you're gonna have to listen, right? Because that's just the way. Because none of this could exist without them. So you have to listen to what they believe, what they think, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, that's I just like try to tune it out the best way I can, especially
Mm.
on breaks. I just like tune it out, or I just go eat inside my car sometimes because some of the things I be hearing, I be like, "Nah, I'm good. Nah, I can't let that affect me." No,
Right. You're protecting your energy, man. That's what you're doing. You're protecting your energy and you're not letting anybody waste your time. That because now that when you know you own your time, you don't let anybody waste it because especially slaves that don't even own their time. They're wasted all the time. They don't know they're wasting it because they don't own it, right? When you
right?
own yours, they're going to think you're an asshole. Oh, you're such a such a time not. They come up with these stupid things, stupid names, right? just because just because you care about your time, you won't care how they feel about your time.
No, I'm not put on this earth to care, because I realized that, like you say all the time, that at some point he will be dead,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
you will be
yeah,
there. Exactly. And that's why I got in shape because I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I mean, I was in shape before I got out of debt, but I'm glad I did that. I started working out like late 20s, right?
right.
Because I need this body to walk this earth. I can't get it. Won't matter if I can't walk around. It won't matter how much money I have.
That's why I
That's another.
said. That's
That's
why.
another thing that solidified it. So I was like, man.
That's why I said when my left foot had gotten broke on the job, I was like,
Mhm.
oh hell, like nah, I can't. No, I got to take care of myself at all times. Like this
Mhm.
job is not going to care if I can't if I'm disabled.
Correct.
They
Correct.
gonna move on and hire other people. I was like, oh no, I
And you
had
know
her.
what? It's just business. It's nothing
Yeah,
personal. It's
that's what I'm saying.
nothing personal.
No, I know. It's like they gonna make their money with or without me. Absolutely.
Correct. And they are losing money if they're paying you and you're not able to produce. They're losing money.
Yep.
It is what it is. If people like if I put it this way, like my last job, I was making $160,000 a year because I was a computer engineer, a virtualization engineer. Okay,
Right.
but the time that they were getting out of me, if I was the person today, I would have made them double my salary because they would call me all after hours, emails, text messages, all the time that they're not paying me for. They contact me, and I didn't say a word. You know why? Because they were paying me, and I was in debt. I would never
Yeah.
let that happen.
Being free is a superpower.
It is a superpower. It is. Now, freedom. Check this out. And Andre came up with this one, right? Freedom is an asset. Think about it. It is an
Yeah.
asset,
In fact, it's like the biggest asset you'll possibly have.
but it's an asset millions of slaves don't even know exists. They have no idea it even exists. That's crazy right there.
It's ludicrous.
But it
It,
has to be that way though, because without slaves, the economy couldn't exist. The housing market, cars, it doesn't like for example, here's another example. It doesn't matter if a car is gas or electric, as long as they financing the cars is all that matters.
yep. Yeah. As long as they can find a way to make you to try to incentivize you to make payments on it, and their
Yeah,
eyes they're renting. That's like, no, I can't do that.
exactly. I
Mm-mm.
mean, think about it. That was me. I can't even count how many cars I financed. And I thought I was doing it because I would upgrade to a more and more expensive car each time. And I thought I was moving up. Now I was just moving deeper in debt.
Yep. It happened to me. I had financed 3 cars before I, paid my last one off, and I was like, I was upgrading. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't making sense.
Right.
The- It's like,
Yeah.
and then with my ex-wife at the time, it was like she was saying the same thing. Wait a minute, I'm paying like the minimum on student loans. Why is it the amount is not going down? I was like,
Hey, let me
because
ask you something before I forget. Let me ask you this. Okay, when you said, remember when you just said something said, this ain't making sense. I guarantee you didn't say that verbally. I guarantee it.
I didn't.
Right? Something inside of you said, this ain't making sense. Right?
No,
That's the voice we always ignore. We always ignore that one. We always, because it's not really a voice, it's a thought. Something comes down and says, hey man, that doesn't make sense, right?
yeah.
Which is true, but we always ignore it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I was just like looking at the car payment booklet that they gave me, and I'm looking, I'm like, it was in my head. It's like, this ain't adding up. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah, that's what happened when I tried to get a bank loan and they said no, and they said, oh, this is because of your DTI. Something inside of me said, this doesn't make sense. That's what it is, and it didn't. CENTS. I was thinking of the wrong sense. They meant CENTS.
Yep. Yeah. But once I paid the car, I was like, I'll never again do something like this
Right.
ever.
That's the worst. That's one of the worst financial moves ever. Is to finance a car, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's a depreciating asset. Well,
Yeah.
according, well,
No
it's a
object, not
no,
asset. Object.
no. What I was gonna say, it's an asset to the bank.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's true. That is true. And you know what's so crazy? The bank don't want that thing. They don't even want it. They don't care about
No,
they don't care about no depreciating car.
no, they don't. In fact, I think when I first got my car, it was a yellow Pontiac Sunfire, and I had missed some payments on it. This was like when I was like 23, when I had
Mhm.
lost my job, and the car was like, it was like messed up a little bit. When the banks
Mhm.
found out the car was messed up, they was like, "Oh, we don't want the car. We just want you to pay. We don't
Showed
care
you.
what happens to it."
Yeah, that's not their problem.
Yeah,
The problem that happened in that car is not their problem. They don't care about that. They just want them car payments.
absolutely. And when I paid my last car off, the one I was telling you about before, when I found out that they have insurance, so where let's say you get hurt on the job, they
Mhm.
said the bank, like depends on the credit unions and stuff, they'll help you make payments on the car. And I was like, I never heard of, I, yeah,
They be
this,
coming up with, don't they be coming up? They be coming up with some wild shit, but it
I'm like, wait
sells
a minute.
though.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me if I'm disabled, I get this insurance, y'all would like backdate my payments? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, not for
I'm
free
like,
though. Not for
I know,
free.
no, it's not for free. No, you gotta prove it.
Right. Because they don't really understand that those businesses are taking advantage of it because they're slaves. They don't really understand that what they're selling them makes absolutely no mathematical sense at all. None, zero.
I'm like, I, I
They
was
don't know
in,
that.
I was in this disbelief when she told me. I'm like, I looked at her like, excuse you, like it was just mind boggling. I'm like, y'all doing additional stuff. It's like the 40-year
Oh
mortgage.
yeah, 40-year extension mortgage.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. If I'm 40, if I get a 40-year extension, I'm gonna be 80.
Right.
If I reach 80.
If you reach there, yeah, exactly. And you know what's so
Like,
crazy is that this is what's crazy. That move was absolutely brilliant because I didn't know how they were going to stop this housing market crash. I had no idea how that was going to happen, right? Because
right,
everybody would have got kicked out at the same time. Everybody, then they would have woke the fuck up, right? They'd been like, "Oh shit, we're all out on the street." And then they came up with this 40-year extension with no penalties and fees, and you won't have to worry about the back payments you missed. They're just going to wrap it up in the loan. I was like, that's absolutely brilliant. They
yeah.
solved the housing market crash without spending a dime. Actually, they're going to be making money, millions, trillions.
Whoever came over that concept got a bonus.
Man, this was man. At that kind of level, you ain't you don't you're not getting bonuses. You are the man. Okay, that's
Yeah,
just like a whole different level type of shit. I didn't know how they were going to do it, and that's how they did it. Brilliant, man.
Yes, indeed. That takes some next level type of engineering.
Next level. That's next level mental level. That's just, man, that's next level stuff.
So then you also got it. Like, what about the housing insurance?
Yeah, you got that too. You got to protect the bank stuff. They want you to insure their house, make sure you they everything. And check this out. They don't have to maintain nothing. They
No,
just
it's
get paid. No risk. They have no risk. None. Just get paid.
Jesus.
Ain't
I'm
that
just
brilliant? I mean, that is
that is
brilliant.
that's extremely brilliant, because if you paying off let's say your house is no, if you're in a high rise, say your house is $500,000 and you lose your job, yeah, they can, yeah, you really are
No. This is
shoot.
what go up to. You got to go before they get to the actual physical money. This is how I imagine the meeting. This is how I imagine the bank meeting. Right before they started this. Right, they probably said, "Huh? How can we convince people to believe they can buy a house without any money of their own? How can we make them believe that? Somebody came up with mortgages. What? Make them believe that it takes 30 years to pay off one house. You sure we can do that, Bob? Yeah, we can do that. I promise you. And voila, they done it. that's
They put
that. First, they have to start there.
Yeah, they put some bright colors on the TV, like
Yes.
yellow. They don't put black, they put yellow, green,
Yeah.
to make it look all positive.
Now imagine this. Imagine the person says, okay, how are we going to stop the housing market crash and make trillions of dollars at the same time and make it look like we prevented the housing market crash all in one? Extend it to 40 years. They'll take it.
Ooh,
Tell them no
and
penalties and fees. They'll all take it. And voila, they did it.
yeah, they did. I'm still trying to figure out how did they get past the no penalty part, because you would think with late payments and stuff. So basically,
Well,
the
they
fact,
already knew that they were never going to be able to pay that money back with penalty. They can barely pay back the missed rent. You think they can pay back the penalties and fees on top of that? That can
okay,
never happen. They will never catch up. So they just put it. All they're doing is taking all that money probably with the penalties and fees in it, right, and adding
right,
it to the 40-year extension, probably way front loaded all up front, because they know
oh,
they're not. They know they're not going to finish all the way out to extended 40 years. So they probably loaded all the penalties and fees up front in the new 40-year extension loan.
that is too damn brilliant.
Isn't that brilliant? That's absolute. And now I don't even know this for a fact. I'm just saying this because it just makes sense, right? It just makes
Right.
sense.
It's like a car deferment. It's like a payment, like when you defer a payment.
Correct.
Oh Lord,
Correct.
they are that damn brilliant.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I didn't know how they were going to do it. I was like, damn, that's how they did it. All right. And then then they put in place, okay, if you sign up, we're going to give you guys 3 months that the banks can't kick you out. Why, if you're doing this process, and we're going to make it mandatory that they can't do that. The banks want that. They don't want those people kicked out. They make no money.
Yeah, they playing good cop, bad cop.
Correct. The house is worth nothing without them in it. They are the asset. It's not even the house. It's them. I mean, think about it. Take the person out of the house. How much money is the bank making on that house right now if nobody's in it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Slaves are the assets. They don't know they're the assets. The
Damn,
house is worth nothing. The house ain't even worth anything. It's the slaves in it.
damn. But I can't get mad at them though, because
And
now,
no, oh no. I respect.
because
No,
like,
that commands respect.
yeah,
I respect the system for sure.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I
Hmm.
can't get mad at them, because without slaves, none of this won't exist.
Correct. We couldn't
I,
be free. You and I couldn't be free without slaves,
exactly.
because there would be nobody left. If everybody knew what we knew, car lots would go out of business because nobody would be financing cars.
Right.
Right? That'd be
Absolutely.
bad. I don't want that to happen.
No, neither do I. I don't
Mhm.
want nobody to lose their job or nothing like that. But yeah, it's like, again, once you, like Morpheus for the Matrix, like once you
Mhm.
know, once you discover, it's like, oh man, you on a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's like, you got to remember too, everybody's humans, regardless of what percentage you are. If you're in the 5% or the 95%, we're all going to die. So there still needs to be people that understand how it works for it to work.
Right.
Right? It has to be that, because people, the 5%, they're human, they die too. So they're going to need people to replace those people. So I feel that that's why I'm here, to help fill the people, help other people understand that, no, to keep this shit going.
That's why I was always wondering, like with the court systems and everything. It's like, wait a minute, why is it that these judges, they will always say, I'm talking about like child support cases and all this stuff. They'll be like, they'll give you this arbitrary number that you have to pay per month for 18
Hmm.
years. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, now I see why they need slaves. They need us.
Yes. That when you get out of debt, like I went through the child support system, I had to go to court, do all that stuff, right? Now that I'm out of the debt matrix, you know why I was there? Because of myself.
Yeah.
I put myself there. I clearly see it's a business. It's clearly a business for people that don't understand. It's and if I knew what I knew today, there is no way I would have been in that system. I wouldn't have been in it. It's for people. That's why those judges are there, for people that don't understand money. Now they put somebody in black robe to tell you what you're going to do with the money you make, because since you don't understand it, now they're going to tell you what to do.
Yep. Yeah, but it's brilliant though.
Brilliant.
I got to give them all this respect though.
Respect. Respect. And you know what? And I always tell people this too, man. I used to you know how people fear taxes, fear the IRS and all that other stuff, right?
But
When you get out of debt, those people fear because they're not following the rules. If they follow the rules, they won't have nothing to fear, right? Just follow the rules. That's it. But I understand now why you go to prison for tax evasion, because
mhm.
if they didn't force people to play, they wouldn't play.
No, yeah, they wouldn't pay it at all. They'd be like, "What the hell is this?" and throw it away.
Yeah. They wouldn't pay, because most of slaves think taxes are the reason why they have no money, why they can't live somewhere, and it's not even taxes. It's because they're in debt. They don't even know that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not because of the system or anything. It's just you put yourself there by being in the hole.
Correct. It don't. And if you go to another country and they run on the same economic system as we do, as debt, you don't care what their money is. You don't care what it looks like. You don't care if it's green, purple. Like, you go to Canada, it doesn't matter if Canada's money is a different color than ours. Does their economy run on debt like ours? Yeah, that's all you need to know. That's it. And then you'll flourish over there too,
Yep.
because there's slaves in Canada. There's slaves here. There's slaves everywhere. That's how our economic systems work.
Hmm. And without them, it won't work.
Won't work. Can't work without slaves. They might have different names that they have over there with the retirement plan. It's all the same basic system. Everything's the same.
It's like, like with the working, you working 10 hours a week. I mean, 10 hours a day, 40 hours a week.
Hmm.
Sometimes you got mandatory overtime, and I'm
That's
like,
great.
wait a minute.
When I hear that, that's crazy. That's absolutely bananas
Oh
when
no,
I hear
I used to do it at,
listen, mandatory overtime. That
yeah.
sounds like pure insanity to hear that to me. Oh my God.
See, when I was at Amazon, I was at Amazon for at least 7 years at the time. And when I first heard of mandatory overtime, I was thinking along the lines like, I was getting extra money, right?
Woo.
When I was
Mm.
I was thinking that. Then all of a sudden on my 6th year, I never forget it. I had this older lady came up. She was like, "You do realize, by you working extra overtime, they making double profits while you just working."
Hmm. And you know
And
what's so crazy? When I hear that too, if I ever came to a job and they said, by the way, we have mandatory overtime, I would say thank you, and I would leave. You ain't telling me what I'm going to be doing. You're not going to be telling me what mandatory.
yeah,
40
that
hours 40 hours a week is already mandatory, right? That's
right.
mandatory, right? And then they're telling me on top of that they have another mandatory. Are you insane? That's
Oh,
slavery, man.
oh man, like during peak season at Amazon. Oh man, we had like from Thanksgiving from Black Friday until Christmas Eve, we was doing like 60 hours a week for
Oh,
almost like 3 months straight.
oh my God.
It's a very real thing. But
Ooh.
you got millions.
Are you talking about working in that big warehouse that they have?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
shit, man.
I did it for 7 years straight. I'm telling you. It was like before I woke up, it's imagine millions and millions of people working every at the end of each year, you gotta work 60 hours a week for almost 3 months straight.
Ooh,
And
woo.
Lord forbid if another building goes down in the disaster, that's another 60. Like they would throw
Mm,
it on you in an instant.
that is that is when I hear shit like that, that is absolutely bananas to me. Like when they show those factories like Amazon factories on TV, all I see, when I look at that, I say hell to the no. I'll do whatever it takes to never have to work in a place like that ever. No,
Yeah, I stopped
that is
at 7. I stopped.
mandatory overtime. You ain't telling me Wait a minute. You said mandatory I have to work 40, right? Now you're doing another mandatory on me? Oh hell no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, just 40 plus 20.
40 plus 20. Did they pay you double? Did they pay you double? Time and a half and all that?
Yeah, they pay you time and a half, but the problem is the tax is going to take that.
Mm, mm,
And plus
mm.
insurance, your insurance high in the first place. Let's say $15 an hour, your overtime pay was 26 an hour. However, you can't work above 55 hours a week. Sometimes, for example, you can't work 7 days in a row, but you can work 6 days in a row, and they can cut you off at 55. But they were saying like, well, because if you reach above 60, you're breaking the law.
You break it. So they keep you guys just right under the break. Hey man, it's business. Okay. If that's
I know,
true,
I
if
didn't know
that's
that's
true, it's
very true.
business. I get it. I get it. Okay, whatever. 55, all right. But I would never work at a place that told me how many hours I'm going to work. I would never do that ever. That
Yeah,
would
no,
never happen.
before I woke up, I was just doing it, like paying off my bills, paying off,
Oh
just
no, I
doing
get
stuff.
it. If you got because you had a purpose. It's different.
Yeah,
It's different when you're working that kind of hours when you have a purpose. Okay, that's different.
yeah, it's like people I know that worked there for like, you talking about 12, 14 years. I
Mm.
was, after my sixth
Working
year,
that long in that Amazon factory?
yeah, it's like, for example, that everybody, for example, you got some people who do pick, you got some people that pack, and you got some people that do indirect roles. Like indirect roles is like, you just going around and replacing light bulbs and stuff like that. They have
Mm-hmm.
different positions you can do. But yeah, people, there are some people that have been there for long. I know the turnover rate there is like 57%, but like you do have people that work there that long, and I'm just shocked as them. And like, what woke me up was my fourth and fifth year when I was at Amazon. I had people come up to me, like even managers, like even corporate, like, cause they'll sometimes pick you and they'll have you do a conference call with corporate, and they'll just ask how you doing and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll ask me, how long you been here? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I've been here for 5 years, for example. They was like, well, you doing better. You lasted longer than 88% of the people that was hired with you.
Mm.
Like they'll
Oh,
tell
I'm
you
sure.
straight.
I'm sure the type of service Amazon gives, I can only imagine what people have to do in those factories. I can only imagine.
Yeah,
I can only imagine how many people are giving away their time too. Probably skipping their breaks, doing shit like that.
yeah.
Working through their lunches. When you work through your break and your lunch, you just gave away that time in your life. You just gave it away because they're not paying you for it.
No, they not. Oh, and here's the best part about the breaks. Let's say you're in the Mars and you picking. It takes you 10 minutes to get from the Mars. Yeah, it takes you 10 minutes to get from the Mars to your break room. So
Oh
you
my
really got
god.
you really got a 20-minute break room, and then you gotta go to your locker. You gotta check your cell phone to make calls and stuff. So really, you got a 15-minute lunch break.
And how? Oh, so the lunch breaks are 30 minutes.
Oh, it's 30 minutes, but you gotta walk. You gotta
No,
like
no, I'm
it.
just saying. I'm just saying. Regardless of the walk, I'm just saying the lunch breaks were just 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
two,
horrible, man. That is. You can't
two,
even enjoy your
two.
food. You can't even enjoy your
That's
food
all
in
it's
30
doing.
minutes. And with the 10-minute walk minus, oh man. Now you talking
Then you got
5 minutes? Are you talking 5 minutes each way or 10 minutes each way?
no 10 minutes each way. Depends on like where you stopped at. Cause like it
Oh.
was like you had to be on time. Like you can't be a minute late clocking back from lunch. Yeah,
So you
it,
basically on top of that, you got to get there before the clock turns 11, right? You got to be
yeah,
there to slide to say 11, right?
yeah. It's their fast start program. It's like even coming in to work in the morning, you got to start working 5 minutes before your shift starts. That's how fast they want them packages out.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. That just sounds so horrible. Ooh, that sounds so horrible.
It's not just at
Horrible.
there. It was at different warehouses like Aldi, like different medical warehouse. They the same way. It's just that I was there for 7 years, and
Oh, I
I'm
know.
think
I know they do the same things at other factories too. That's a given. And
no,
it's
that's
going to get worse. It's going to get worse because delivery is in high demand now. People don't want to go out and get anything anymore, so delivery is in high demand.
right. Just like I can't. If they start paying us, paying people in crypto, oh Lord,
Mm, mm,
that
mm,
the
mm.
game over right there.
Game over. They get rid. People see slave. They're making the slaves seem like the banks are hating that the money might go digital, right? No, they're man. When they go digital, that means they have full control of pretty much all transactions now. Okay,
Absolutely.
at least with paper, you could hide transactions and pay somebody under the table. You can't do that. That's going to be much harder with digital currency. Very hard.
hmm Like I mean, what broke me down on my fifth year, it was like I'm used to. It was like pregnant women that was working there. You know, like single mothers. And I'm not saying there's no way, but when I seen them being stressed out, it was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, it's like they in pain and stuff like that because they standing
Yeah,
on their
at
feet.
work.
Yeah, they had to work those 10 hours.
Right. That's it. And it was crazy. They don't really understand that says volumes, right? When you see a woman that's pregnant that clearly don't want to be there at the job, clearly that would rather be at home, relaxing, going through having a fucking baby, right? That's
Right.
because of debt. Because if they had
hmm
money, they would not be at that job suffering like that. They would not be there.
And that damn near broke me, man. It's I almost walked out the job then, like a few years ago. I was like, nah, man, this is not normal. That little voice that we keep ignoring, man, that voice was telling me for years. That's like, yeah, you need to do better.
Mhm.
Because
And
that
it's
voice,
open to everybody. I mean, you look at Amazon, just when you get out of the debt matrix, and then you look at Amazon, and then you look at Walmart, you get it. You're like, oh, okay, it's nothing personal. No, it's nothing personal. Do not add your feelings because the majority of people that do those chapters jobs, they're deep in debt.
yep.
Guarantee you, the majority of people that have those jobs, they have car payments. They have the latest cell phone, and they have the latest cell phones in their hands. They have all of them have student loans. That's why they are there.
hmm That's why one thing. That's the main thing. Why I never. One thing I can say I never did at a job was trying to have no type of sexual involvement with no other woman at that
That
job.
was very smart. I never did that either. I never did that either. And I
I
was
was
very
I
smart.
got I got along with people, but I was never adamant about hookups with no one at the job. I talk to people like I speak to them, but I was not trying to do anything sexually related at nobody's job in or outside of the job. Because
Right.
I was like, I just seen what happened to other people that did it. I was like,
Exactly.
once
All
I
right,
got
man.
out
Well,
there, I'm sorry.
we
Go
got to
ahead. I'm
wrap this
sorry.
up, man. I gotta get ready to go, man. I appreciate you jumping on, Robert. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Sorry about. I apologize if I was too long winded.
No, man. No, you wasn't long at all. No, I enjoy that. No, this is me. Okay. I don't want you to feel that it's you. It's me. I have to get off. Okay.
You take care of yourself.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. Appreciate it. Share if you like today's video. Thank you, Hyphy, for get rid of homeboy. He's starting to get on my nerves anyway. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, thank you, everybody, for joining. As if you didn't check out the shirts, uh, the couple of, this is not the final product, which kind of running through a couple of things here, but if you haven't checked out Look in the Community, I throw it in there. The members only. I am going to throw it out. I threw it to the members only first. Now I'm going to throw it out to all of you that are not members, so you guys can check it out too. But if you want to see the final product, you know, just be aware that it's going to be out here soon, because these shirts are coming. And those of you that are new to the channel, I want you guys to understand something. These shirts are going to be unlike any shirts ever with statements on it, at least, that you're never going to ever had anybody seen these type of shirts. These shirts are going to be huge. All right. You guys have a good one. Later.